Hi friends, it's Sudhya from Backyard Garden Highlights. Hope you guys are doing great today. Today I'm planning to share how I'm doing the winter sowing using the milk jug. So let's talk about the winter sowing process basically guys. So winter sowing process or the method I actually started following one season so far. I started my gardening in 2019 when we moved into this house, and that time I didn't really know about the winter sowing and I didn't really do much of the gardening activities. But 2020, I learned about the winter sowing and I wanted to experiment how it works, because I also really don't want to use so much of my space because I already use a lot of home plants and I didn't have much setup for the indoor seed starting. So my preferred method is do every gardening activities as possible as outside, so that we don't need to do extra work and things like that. So I learned about winter sowing last year, and the amount of success that I got from last year winter sowing method is tremendous. Really, I was so astonished to see, even for the first time when people are trying for the winter sowing method, it gives almost 90 to 95% of success rate, which is really great, because winter sowing method is basically you use milk jugs or any plastic jugs that you otherwise throw it. Winter sowing method doesn't really require more cost, and it's very economic way of gardening activity, especially in December and January if you are feeling like you want to do something in the garden. So this will be the best activity for the gardeners, because instead of throwing the milk jugs and any water jugs to the recycling, we could really do the recycling in our house by repurposing the jugs. Basically, I cut the milk jugs or the water jugs into the half and leave little bit hinge. I'll show you the detailed process, but after you cut it, you fill half of the jug with the soil and follow the planting direction as per the seed packet, and you just water them today. And once you water, cover it, basically the area that you cut, that I think I have seen most of the gardeners were successful using the duct tape. So I did that last time. It was great success. I didn't really have any failure using the duct tape. So I'm going to use the duct tape again this year as well. And then you just need to remove the cap out of the jug, so that the milk jug kind of act as a mini greenhouse for your plant. So that's the process. Basically, winter sowing method is nothing but you just create a mini greenhouse effect using the milk jugs, and thereby when the weather permits, the seeds start germinate, and then the plant go through all the weather changes. At the same time, it is protected inside the greenhouse. So that's really an awesome part of winter sowing. Once you wrap the cut using the duct tape, you place them outside your garden, and you don't need to really water them unless you live in a dry climate where you don't get snow or rain. But last year I didn't really water them until I think March. I didn't really water them. I live in zone 6B, and the last frost date is mid of April. So I have to keep some of the plants which cannot tolerate light frost inside the mini greenhouse that I built, like the milk jugs, until the last frost danger is gone. So that's the quick summary of the process, guys. So it's really too cold. I'm kind of freezing. So I'm going to take you guys inside my house and show you how I'm following all this process in a closer look. And then once I am done getting all the jugs ready with the seed process, I'll be taking them outside my garden and place them in a little bit secure place. Basically, if you have any chicken wire or if you have any kind of fence, you can keep them near that so that it doesn't collapse. Otherwise, I think if you have any slug, snail problem in your garden, so I would really recommend that you don't keep the jugs near those area where you have seen in your gardening activities in the previous years. So I'm going to place them in my new raised bed garden. I did that last time and I didn't have any slug or snails problem. So this year also I'm going to use the same place. That's pretty much about it. And couple of benefits about winter sowing method is like it is very economic way, guys. So you don't really need any special equipment. You just use the milk jugs or the water jugs that otherwise you would throw. So the container comes free of the cost, and seed packet and seed starter mix, or that is one you'll buy it. Otherwise everything else you could use within what you have in your house. Another great benefit about winter sowing is like it saves lot of time for you actually, and it saves lot of effort from you basically, because all these plants are growing outside the weather with little protected mini greenhouse. You don't need to spend time on hardening them off. Usually if you start the seedlings inside your house under the grow lights, before you really take them outside, at least for a week or two, you need to train the plants to get acclimated to the new weather and the wind, everything. So at least for a week or two we need to train the plants, so taking them from inside house to outside. So that's a kind of a really good amount of manual effort, I would say. So with this winter sowing method, that effort is 0%. So because that's what I most like about winter sowing, because it's effortless basically. So once you plant it today and keep them, you just forget about it, because the nature does all the job of watering. And once you have the spring started, you get nice seedlings, and the strong seedlings than the one you grow inside using the grow lights. And then another advantage about start using this winter sowing method is, while other gardeners start purchasing the seedlings from garden center or start their seeds, if you have the winter sowing done in the during the winter period, you get ton of seedlings ready to be planted in your ground when the soil is ready and when the spring starts. Isn't that awesome plan, and isn't that great gift, guys? Why don't we make use of that opportunity, right? Alright guys, these are the things you needed for winter sowing method. The first one is garden marker. So this is a permanent marker and it is weatherproof. So I have seen this working very well for the last summer. So I'm thinking that for winter sowing also this is going to be a good marker, because if you guys watched my last year winter sowing method, I used a Sharpie, and then when I opened up the jugs, I couldn't really identify which plant each one is, because whatever I have written was wiped off. So with the hope that this works, this is a weatherproof. Next one, the duct tape that I was telling about, and the plant label. So you can purchase plant label, but I try to use yogurt box. I just make a small piece out of it and use that as a plant label, and that has worked so well last year. So I'm trying to reuse as much as possible items from the home instead of purchasing everything from the garden centers. And then the seed packet, this is Johnny's seed packet for lavender, and lavender actually needs stratification. It means like it has to go through cold freezing weather up to certain number of weeks for the seed to germinate. So this is going to be a good seed to try for winter sowing method. And last year I almost got 10 or 12 seeds planted. I think I got 10 seedlings. So let's quickly see how I'm making the mini greenhouse using the jug. As I mentioned, we need empty milk jug or water jug that you will have in your home. And I have just removed the cap, so we don't need the cap, so we can toss them to recycling bin. And all we have to do is just make some couple of drainage hole. Before you cut, it is recommended that you put the drainage hole. After you cut also you can do the drainage hole. It is little bit challenging, or it is little bit risky, because we'll be using sharp knife to I'll be using sharp knife to make the holes and cutting this. So I found it useful to make the drainage hole first and then make the cut. That makes me better in a way to handle this. Let me show you how I'm putting the drainage holes. So basically you just make 4 holes. So that was sufficient. I tried that last time. It was perfect. So I'm going to do the same thing this time. That's sufficient. Then what I do is I just make a cut here and then here. So near the handle I make a cut and here, because we want to leave at least 4 inches of space for the plant to get enough room to grow. So you can use any transparent plastic jugs that can hold up to 4-inch soil in the jug. So it's not necessarily you need to use. Only thing is, if you are using oil cans or jugs, you need to make sure you wash them thoroughly before you could use them. And then we just need to cut along the line, and I'm going to try to make it straight, but it's okay if you cannot really make it straight. Now you could notice a little bit hinge is left, so that will help you in terms of opening, closing the lid without too much trouble. And I already have one jug and filled with potting soil. We are going to use potting soil mix instead of seed starter, because seed starter would be more ideal for indoor seed starting, because we are going to keep this outside during winter. I think to hold more moisture in the soil, better to keep the potting soil. So I am using potting soil for my winter sowing, and I did that last time also. It worked out so perfect. I have already moistened the potting soil so that it has a good amount of water, but it should not be too soggy. So when you squeeze it, it should not drip any water. So that's how you make the soil. Then I'm going to follow the direction provided in the seed packet to sow the seed in this, and it's up to you how many seeds you want to sow in this method, because some people find that they just have 4 or 5, so that it can be easily transplanted and it can be easily separated from one another. But I have seen some gardeners going very crazy, like they put entire seed packet, like hundreds, I don't know, like more than that, and everything they then manage to transplant it. So I think the choice is yours. So you can sow the seeds, as many seeds as you want, but I'm going to see maybe 10. So I will go with the same 10 seeds this year also, so that I will have at least 6 to 7 plants throughout my season if I lose a couple of them for any reason. And Johnny's seed packet is awesome. So this was my last year's seed packet, and it is a resealable. So once you use it, you can reseal it and keep it in the basement, so it's not getting too warm during the summer season if you are keeping them inside hopes. In general, if your seed packet doesn't say any direction for the sowing, it is recommended to plant these seeds 3 times the depth of the seed size. Lavender seeds are very tiny. The seed packet direction is 1/8 of a deep. I'm going to just spread them and put one layer of soil on top of that. Once you place the seed, just press it firmly so that they contact in the soil, and then I'll be watering this can before I take them. After watering, I'm just keeping this label. Okay, so after you're done with it, all you have to do is just close the lid and cover it with the duct tape. Just press it firmly so that it sticks to the surface of the can. So the jug is ready. So I'm going to take this outside. I will place it near some fence, and I will be winter sowing with my other seeds soon. I will make another video to show what are the other seeds that I'm winter sowing. Primarily, I'm thinking of using all hardy perennials and cold tolerant annuals in my next video, and sometime around maybe end of February or early March, based on the weather and the forecast, I will start with my summer seedling. At least for dahlia, even single frost dahlia seedlings died within the mini greenhouse. So I wouldn't really recommend winter sowing dahlia seeds in this method until maybe early April. And if you just want to kickstart the seedling, you can just move the jug inside your house when the frost is forecasted. I will take this jug and keep it outside. That's pretty much today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Please support my channel by subscribing and commenting and sharing it with your friends. I'll see you in the next video.